watching a B.A.S.S. presentation.
Our live coverage continues. Bassmaster Whataburger Elite at Wheeler Lake in Decatur, Alabama. Our live coverage sponsored by FXR. So great to have their partnership on this very important job of keeping you up to date what's going on at the sixth stop of the year for the Bassmaster Elite Series. We have got our 50 anglers out here, this being semifinal Saturday, and Cliff Prince started the day with the lead, a lead which he has extended by about 6 pounds during the course of the day ahead of Ray Hanselman. John Garrett's made a move up that leaderboard. John Cox kind of holding serve there, maybe moving up a little bit. Alex Wetherill, Alex Redwine, the two Alexes, Wesley Gore, Jay Shakurat, Justin Hamner. And the only person not starting the day in the top 10 is the number 10 spot, Hunter Shryock, today. So the top 10 have been Bulldogs. They are not going to be unseated from that top 10 today if they have anything to do with it. Anyway, we're glad you're with us. We got another hour of fishing time. Of course, the weigh-in takes place here about 3 o'clock. Starts here on Bassmaster.com about 3 o'clock. Tommy Sanders here with Davey Height, Ronnie Moore, and the Such. And Davey, it's been just a joy to watch our friend Mr. Prince out there doing so well. And now I see we're joined by Mr. Mercer here. There's Dave Mercer. At attention there, getting ready to just minutes away from starting the weigh-in, just a few minutes away. And Dave, you and Cliff Prince basically started with the Elite Series about the same time, about 14 years ago. Why don't you give us some of your thoughts on Cliff Prince and some of the things that people ought to know about him?
I mean, he is truly just one of the good guys, and I know that gets said a lot, but he is just good in every single element of his life. When you see him, whether it's around his community in Palatka, Florida, around his kids. I mean, his child once saved a drowning person at an event, if you remember that, just a few years ago. The whole family is just, the term comes to my mind, salt of the earth. And I'll say one thing about Cliff Prince is you've watched him compete over the years, and he's had opportunities. I mean, 3 times in his Bassmaster career, he's been in the top 3, and there's been times where he's had big spikes at events where you've seen him say, hey, he's had that one big day. But this really feels like, I mean, it's his time. And there's nobody in bass fishing that would argue with this. He is truly just one of the good guys, salt of the earth, and I'm here for it, guys.
Oh, me too.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's got to be pulling for Cliff Prince. But let's say if there is a villain in the top 10, who might it be? I mean, do you see a Ray Hanselman being able to catch 20-plus pounds? Do you see John Garrett? Who do you think would be the guy that Cliff Prince has to worry most about tomorrow?
I mean, I think that all of them have an opportunity, but do you know who kind of screams to me that, because just crazy things have happened throughout his entire career? I'm going to say butterfly kisses, John Cox. I mean, he has got a special area, and this morning when I talked to him, he talked about how the water's rising and it's helping his case. And I think something magical has to happen for it really to go down. Let's be honest. But if it can happen, it can happen to anyone there. John Garrett's also a little scary because, I mean, he's just like, he doesn't have a pulse. Like, he's just the Grim Reaper that just rolls along and wins titles. Seems unflappable now that he's here at the Bassmaster Elite Series. But there's something in me that says, and who doesn't want to see John Cox battle it out? 2 Florida anglers here, and 2 anglers that haven't had a great season, didn't have a great Florida swing, but I'm saying Cox, if anyone can. But I'll be honest, guys. I probably have a mild to intermediate case of heat stroke, so I don't know if any of my thoughts are making sense. I am sucking on Pedialyte like they are pina coladas at a Parrot Head concert. But I'm excited. It's semifinal Saturday. I mean, and every once in a while I remove myself from the meat locker, a.k.a. my hotel room, and come out here in the sunshine of Alabama.
So Dave, that brings up my question. Sometimes early in the year, February, we start, and I know it's really, really cold in Canada, and you come down south, whether it's Texas or Florida, where it might be, and you have to say, man, this is really nice, these 70-degree days. And maybe even once or twice I've sensed that maybe you think it'd be a lot easier if I lived a lot closer to where most of these tournaments are. Have you thought that this week at all about maybe it would be nice to live in the southeastern United States in the months of June, July, and August?
Not one bit, Davey Height. I can tell you 100%. Not one bit have I thought that. I'll tell you, we are in Alabama. I mean, number one, it is paradise at home. We have 9 weeks a year where it is wonderful at home, and that is this 9 weeks. And actually today in Ontario is Bass opener. I know people in the South are saying, why would you have a Bass closer? But it is how it works up there. So it's a special day in Ontario. But I'm not moving to Alabama. I love Alabama. I love the fine folks of Alabama. It's the birthplace of Bassmaster. It's all about roll tide, but I'm going to tell you what, I would roll on out of town if I lived here. I would put up with the cold a lot better than I can put up with this heat.
Well, Dave, thanks so much for all the good stuff. All the good stuff with Jason Christie also during the on-location coverage. Back to the meat locker for Dave Mercer until weigh-in time, which again, we remind you begins at 3 p.m. Eastern time right here on Bassmaster.com. And now to catch up everyone on what's been going on out here today. If you're just checking in, a good opportunity to learn more during the course of our, right now, Bassmaster Midday Report, starting with Ohio's Alex Redwine.
Go ahead, Ronnie. We'll let you start it off. I'll finish up on the final three. Go ahead.
That's fine. Hey, so Alex Redwine made a big jump after day one. Had an okay weight. You know, a lot of these guys after practice thought 13 pounds, I'm going to be in the top 20. Not the case. They caught him big time this week, so he was down in 35th place. Made a jump yesterday into our top 10 in 7th and has stayed right around that mark all day today. A little bit slower to get to a limit. Been sharing some fish with Jay Shakira, putting their heads together. Combined effort here this week to survive the Wheeler event, and they have survived well. Really had a okay day, falling down to the bottom portion of our top 10. Not sure if he was going to make the final day, and then a 4-pounder this afternoon. Not only netted him a 2+ pound cull, but he gave him a little pizza slice as well. He got some midday lunch and things of that sort. But other than Cliff Prince, he's the only one who's kind of taking it easy this afternoon at a certain point.
He has done that. You did that so well.
I try to be eloquent here and there. I just got pizza of my own, so I'm refreshed for this last hour.
There you go. Yeah, you got some fuel in the tank now. Alex Redwine currently sitting at 13 pounds and 2 ounces. Let's go to Alex Part 2. This is Alex Wetherell from Middlebury. Is it Middletown, Connecticut? Middletown, Connecticut. He's turning up. He's up in his game this year.
Yes, he is, and this is what I saw in the Opens. You know, a more consistent Alex. He was up and down last year. We know how rookies go on their first season, acclimating to it, hearing the doc talk, listening or not believing the doc talk, doing it his way this week. Big shaky head, a big worm on it too, and Davey, how you mentioned it, working it a whole lot faster than some guys, but when he's taking some drink breaks, putting his rod down, that bait is settled on the bottom. Once he resumes the action, he's got some bites. So that might be a different cadence that once these schools get pressured, may work out.
Absolutely. Sometimes dead sticking that worm can certainly be the ticket. John Cox, officially in 4th place, 48 pounds, 11 ounces. Made a little different turn this morning. Instead of headed down to Spring Creek, he went upstream just a little bit to try a little different pattern this morning, fishing around the riprap there at the bridge and around the marina area there. Caught a few fish, but they were not the right size. Gave him a little security in the live well. He had 3 keepers when he went to this area that obviously is full of a lot of beautiful vegetation. He's caught most of those big fish on that Swamp Lord frog, including that one and this one here just a little bit later. Not a lot of bites in this area for John Cox, but they have certainly been the right size. Day one, leader, 22 pounds. It's only 7 fish all day long. Today he's been able to catch good quality fish, but no 6 and 7 pounders.
I'm just going to go ahead and say, Tommy, if the frog he's using is the Swamp Lord, maybe he's been knighted this week. He has he stood to the test. And
he's an Earl now. He's a Swamp Earl by now. It has to be. Absolutely. You can really put some stripes on that pesto out there in the middle of that pond. That is for sure.
That
John
does
Garrett.
Look like some of the pasta sauce. Thank you. That's good.
John Garrett, who Dave Mercer just informed us, he seems to be a coal-calculated killer out there when in his appearances here on Bassmaster Live. He does have a lot of poise and a lot of calm about him. Not really what you think of from a rookie.
No, absolutely not. And just so surprised after we saw him on day one. I got to talk to him that afternoon thinking that he had a lot of experience here on Wheeler Lake, and he said, nope, I've only fished it one other time when the opens were here last year when I was trying to qualify for the Bassmaster Elite. So very, very impressive. Been very consistent this week. Been around the top 5 all week, just steady, fishing slow, methodically, a few places. And to be honest with you, there's so many great offshore fishermen that have graphed in practice and fished these exact same places that John Garrett has been able to fish and get these fish to bite.
Well, this has been a tournament that obviously is set up well for Ray Hanselman. Ray Hanselman has been in the conversation for the top part of the leaderboard all week long, and really, as we've said before, seems very comfortable and very much dialed into what's happening out there.
He really is. It's a big surprise to so many people that have kept up with Ray Hanselman through his fishing career. A lot of it, we was just fishing in the Texas area. What a proven winner he is. He has not held a blue trophy yet, but it is soon to come. If not this week, one day we certainly know Ray Hanselman will do that. He's a great offshore fisherman. Tends to excel when you have vegetation, a variety of vegetation like we have here. He's got a 1-2 punch, fishing shell beds earlier in the morning and then fishing some thick vegetation in the same general area of the Decatur Flats, about a mile apart, his best area of vegetation versus the shell bar.
Now we come to our leader, Cliff Prince. Yesterday, for numbers, I don't think anybody beat him for numbers. And he had numbers today, but he added some more size.
Yeah, it's really been amazing how not only these fish have reloaded for Cliff Prince, but the size seems to get better and better each day, but it also, they get better between 8 and 9 o'clock all 3 days. We didn't have him on camera the first day, but I talked to Cliff, and he caught a 4 and a 5 about 8:30 on day 1. Yesterday and today, we've had him on camera, catching a good solid limit early, but then between 8 and 9 o'clock, he has really been able to really add weight to his 5-fish limit. Today was absolutely incredible. That last fish that he caught was just a stud. It's definitely a 7-pounder. So we'll see. He's definitely in the driver's seat to hold the first blue trophy over his head. I know the whole fishing world is pulling for him. Catch 1 or 2 like that tomorrow. He'll be holding that trophy, no doubt.
Hey, 1 or 2 like that tomorrow, Tommy, that's going to put him in the top 5 for the biggest margins of victory if he catches 2 over 7 tomorrow.
Maybe an elbow brace tomorrow after one hand in that.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you, it's hot in Florida, but it is hot on Lake Wheeler in Alabama today. I mean, it's got to be 105 degrees, feel like, because, I mean, it is just absolutely a scorcher. But anyway, the fish are still biting early. They could be still biting right now. I'm sure they are for somebody, but we've kind of laid off of them. We had a really good morning this morning, real quick. And hopefully there's 5 there tomorrow, at least 3 pounds or better. And if we can put them in the boat, I think we'll be okay. And I do have a backup plan if need be, but hopefully we catch 5 that go about 20 pounds tomorrow, and we'll have an easy day tomorrow. But if not, we'll grind it out to the end.
Tacking on 15 would make it pretty hard to catch Cliff Prince.
It sure would. It sure would.
I never would have thought that either when you're coming into the tournament that's been so tough for so many in practice, the poor mouthing or the low expectations, that over 20 pounds a day would be your day 3 leader. And so the fact, I mean, if you had to put odds on it, Davey, I'd expect him to catch 20 pounds tomorrow.
Yeah, we talked about this yesterday, that looking at this tournament, I think we all would agree when we pick the winning weight. If an angler can catch 20 pounds for 2 days, 20 pounds a day for 2 days, then the other days, if they can catch 15, 16 pounds for the other 2 days, average that will be your winner.
Yeah.
So he's had, he had almost 20 on day 1, a little over 20 on day 2. I think we all agree he's got over 20 today. So he's already got 3 days of that. To catch 15, he'll be so hard to beat.
Pretty good. Still just poking around in here. I'm about to make a move in the next little bit out to the flat and try to just sling around in the grass and get lucky and catch a big one. Like I said before, I've had a real big one each day, and today I've got, I've weighed in a 2-pounder every day, and I've got a high 2s today and no big one, so I don't really know how else to go catch a big one. I'm just going to get out there where they live and sling around, and hopefully we run into one.
Logan Parks just found a big one, got in our top 10 from 19th to 9th. He's got about 15 1/4 on the day.
Wow.
Good for
A
you.
little bit of what we've seen from Wesley Gore during the course of today.
It's big.
During the break we were on, just that ended a little bit ago. Good call for him.
Menendez isn't giving up either. He just landed a 5-pounder.
Easy, girl. Yes! Yes! Just go, dude. Made it. Dude, it fell out.
Hook just fell out of his mouth.
That one's got
That's a good
gut.
solid
yeah,
fish.
That one's fed up.
Fish looks like it's close to 4 pounds.
Davey, we don't root for anybody here in the studio.
We
It does
don't.
make us feel good when people we maybe put on camera day one when we had to pick and choose in the field who to put. If they end up making it to the final day, you're like, I knew there was a reason we trusted them. Guys like Wes Logan, Logan Parks, they're close. They're
We're
holding
not
up
going to
there in the
mention that I mentioned Wesley Gore, are we?
Yeah, you did mention Wesley Gore. You did mention Wesley Gore.
I mean, I wasn't going to bring that up.
I know, of course, that's fine.
Back to Alex Red Wine.
You're right, though, Ronnie. We makes us feel good.
Oh, that's Logan Parks right there, I believe.
It's gonna be close. So I think we got like 45 minutes left. Just kind of, I haven't hit this yet today. I've caught a few fish off of it the first and the second day. Just kind of checking on it. Logan's here. I saw him. I guess he lost one, but I don't know. Just something I wanted to hit kind of before we went in, just to see if there was any fish left. I'm sure this spot's been kind of beat on a lot the last few days. I know some of the other guys have been fishing. It's just a little school on a kind of a creek channel, but yeah, just gonna make a few casts here and then probably head in. But yeah, I mean, I feel like I survived the day. Had fun today. Had a few kind of tough times, or just where I had to put my head down. But it was a fun day overall. Glad we survived. Glad we caught that big one that you guys saw. We got to eat a pizza, so that was good. Yeah, but it's all good. Yeah, sounds like Logan's got a decent bag, and I don't know. It'd be nice if we caught like another like 3-something pounder just to end the day with and head on in. But looking forward to the AC here in a few hours. Air conditioner.
Oh, we know what you were talking about.
I did see, Tommy, where it said England is going to experience a 48-hour window of 26 degrees Celsius, and I think that converts to 79 degrees. So I know they may not have AC over there in England or something, but 79, I think the elite guys here at Wheeler would take that. They would take
yeah.
79.
Oh,
I
absolutely.
think that's our starting temp from the mornings.
Yeah.
AC, air conditioning.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you don't know, now you know.
Catch you with.
Additional catches. That's not what he's talking about. But he was talking about one more catch.
Or maybe it was
that's
add
it.
cheese to my pizza.
Could be. Could well be. Cliff Prince hanging in there. Absolute lock to make it to the final day. Ditto for Ray Hanselman, John Garrett, probably John Cox as well. Of course, nothing's official until weigh-in time. We remind you the programming note. Weigh-in kicks off right here on Bassmaster.com at 3 p.m. More fishing in the meantime.
We weren't all born to fish, but the eagle was. With enhanced auto-tuning sonar, IPS screens, detailed charting, and an easy and reliable installation. Meet Eagle.